Hello, one and all, and welcome, of course, to round number 5 of LCR Season 5. We're here at the jewel of the calendar here at Monte Carlo ahead of the Monaco Grand Prix. On this, what is set to be 2.09 mile circuit ahead of the drivers, with 19 turns ahead of them. 7 of them are to the left and 12 to the right. Watch out for action zones in particular. San Devot at turn 1. We've seen many overtakes happen there before. Let's see if we can have more happen today. And the Novo chicane, in my opinion, just as you come out of the tunnel. The third one outside of the drivers, the Hypersofts, Ultrasoft and Supersoft tyres being available to them. And let's just have a quick look. A couple of minutes ago, we just had a brilliant qualifying session. One is set to be one of the most crucial of the season. And here is your grid rundown. So it's the German of LCR Leopards. Surprisingly, that's not really a surprise, is on pole position. Alongside him, though, the Swede of Phoenix Legend. Done another good, strong qualifying from him. Let's see if this time he can have a bit of race pace to back that up. On row 2, it is the Ferrari of VSR Clonetroop and his fellow championship contender of King Liam 25. The third row is the Dutchman of 2, Verstappen. Alongside him, the LCR veteran of LCR Hayden. On row 4 is KRC Gianni and Army Hogler down in PA again. Final out of the 2 in the top 10 is Jolly and UK Dark Predator, who's on the Ultrasoft tyres. But outside the top 10, we have Brad, aka Judas Revenge. We do not have a man in P12. Don't know where he's gone. He's disappeared off the face of the earth. LCR Visualize starts from P13 on row 7. Alongside him is LK, and that is the entire field. So now the guys are making their run on the formation lap as the sun sets and the cars get ready to go. And joining me in the combots this week is Diablo, aka James. And James, it's exciting to have you here. And well, we've just witnessed a very good qualifying session.
Absolutely, the qualifying session was as close as you're going to get around Monaco, I think, but wasn't quite what it was going to live up to towards the end. I was hoping that we get a few more really fight for that front row. In the end, Liam couldn't do it on those Hypersoft tyres, and back to qualifying, he just about was missing out on those Ultrasoft tyres, so he's got some good pace there in the Renault, and it's just going to be a case of now those front 2 runners can't be getting tangled up with each other into San Devot.
Yeah, San Devot could match to the side of the race course. This is only the second time in LCR history it's been hosted here at Monaco, and that only time was won from pole position. So it's advantage Leopard according to the stats. But a quick talk to you about the championship, of course. 18 points between the top 6 drivers, and either one of 5 could walk out with the championship lead today. One of their men is currently on pole position in LCR Leopard, but the question is, will he lead down to San Devot, or will Phoenix Legend try and cause a bit of upset for him? But the cars are now coming up towards parking themselves on the grid. TR Malta, the final of 15 men, getting ready for the jewel of the calendar. It's going to be a scrap under the lights here at Monaco. It's the Monte Carlo Grand Prix in LCR. And well, now this is when the excitement starts as we build up towards those 5 red lights as per usual ahead of the guys in LCR. 3, 4, 5 red lights out of the drivers, and LCR Season 5 is off in Monte Carlo. It's a friendly start there for LCR Leopard 15. They do not get an okay start, and Clonetroop's already got passing down towards turn 1 and San Devot. Sliding behind King Liam 25 as well, so it's the Verstappen slots in ahead of LCR. Hayden's Clonetroop and Liam are coming together, and a mighty collision early on, and Leopard safely leads. Verstappen in second, Hayden in third, Gianni in fourth, Liam's down to fifth with problem damage. Clonetroop has spun it round, and it's an absolute mad start at LCR between Clonetroop and Liam as he was collected as he spun out at turn 1. You heard James say no, and it wasn't indeed a no start for most of the guys because it's chaos early on in LCR. You can't quite script this early on as Leopard leads Verstappen second and Hayden third. I don't even know what happened further down, James, because it was just chaos.
Absolutely, I think what I just saw there was the Red Bull and the Ferrari. It was quite simply, they just came together. He didn't have the run coming out of San Devot, that cost him, and now Phoenix is around the outside of him. He's got to move done as well on his teammate who's struggling because that front end grip, he's got no front wing end plate, and he's going to be struggling like crazy now. Clonetroop are also involved in that accident at the start. It's a case, I think, maybe of Clonetroop just closing the door on the Red Bull. Didn't expect him to be up there coming up Beau Rivage, but of course you're going to be side by side. You've got to watch it with each other through there, and he's made a big mistake, those two, and it's been a massive crash, reminiscent in fact of Spa all those years ago.
Yeah, you cannot quite script this in every time. And after one lap, it's already 4 seconds between the 2 leaders. A lot of pinners. LCR Hayden, Phoenix Legend, KRC Gianni, Clonetroop all in at the end of lap number 1. So that means this moment in time, it's Leopard who leads, Verstappen second. Liam is still in third somehow. Jolly's up to 4th, Brad up to 5th, Pred up to 6th. It's just chaotic so far, and all the guys outside the top 10 are probably licking their lips opportunities. Guys like Jolly's on fresh tyres. Sorry, not Jolly, I mean Drizzle Avenger. He's on fresh super soft tyres and he's up in a P5. He's in a prime seat to do well here, James.
Absolutely, if he just keeps his nose clean, then he's going to be alright. He'll be absolutely fine in this Grand Prix. In fact, may even get a really good result from it. It's not completely out of the question. For the loads of Jolly who are on hyper soft tyres and everyone ahead of them, well, I mean, Verstappen's 4.5 seconds behind Leopard and we're only on lap 2, so it's going to be a really... he's going to have to just push like crazy for Verstappen, and he's actually tapped the wall on the exit of Rasgas. I think he may have damage on the front wing of that Sauber, and that's not the time or place you want to be doing that.
Yeah, front left by the looks of things, you can see it on your screen. Unfortunately, we can't see the front right anymore due to the halo, but we still can see that, and that is very definitely missing a chunk of that front wing. So now he's going to have to carry that all Grand Prix. The car behind as well, Codemasters also suffers front wing damage, as of course Jolly, currently leader of this train ahead of him, is, I believe, LK is also in for a front wing change. The Mercedes going to fall down the order, and this is just a mad race for Thomas. UK Dark Predator and Hogler side by side. The Davies on reserve, fending for his life against the Spaniard down the inside towards the casino section. William told it towards Mirabeau just about, but he squeezes Hogler into the wall, and that was close between the two. I thought maybe Hogler was going to try and go for a dart down the inside towards the hairpin, but that would have been suicide for him. To be fair to him, he's had a bit of a suicidal season so far, but definitely not the place to try it. But he'll try and come back down towards the Netherlands chicane, but that's not a good exit at all out of that corner towards it. I don't think he'll have a chance. Sorry, I was Portier that was coming towards. I was trying to remember the name of it, and I already forgot it already. Not a good start from myself either. But 3-second turner comes in for the Spaniard. And, well, you said it was a difficulty with tracking some of the stuff around here, James, and that just goes to show. With 4 laps in, and Hogler's already got 1 penalty.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the chicanes around here that's going to allow you to get those penalties. You can't cut anywhere else other than, like I say, Sandavot is the other place where you can really try to extend your luck, and I only know because I'm a track extender myself. And they're side by side actually. That's Hogler and Predator side by side towards turn 1, and it looks like the Spaniard's going to get ahead, or is he? Because he's getting fended off by the Bouncing Horse, and they make contact. The McLaren is not too far behind either. That's visualised. We want to keep his nose clean in here as they head towards Massenet.
Yeah, they head towards Basta, now towards the casino section. That was on my score. I believe I saw a front
wing
wing
sideways.
Hogler spun towards the casino section, and in front of the gamblers. He has most certainly taken a gamble there and ended up round doing a 360 spin. Malta now gets past him in the P8 as well, as it's side by side. I believe Hayden's off as well. Hayden is off towards Massenet. Oh, it's contact between Clonetroop and Hayden. Oh my god, there was no ghosting. Why did he not ghost? He was parked in the middle of the track code. He sorted out. And Hayden is out, and Clonetroop has got more front wing damage to suffer, and the Championship Contenders Day has just gone from bad to even bloody worse here in LCR. It's just mad early on.
Pred has come into the pit to change his front wing. He's also got a stop-go penalty as well, just to add to his woes in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to wait about 12 seconds in his box now in order to be able to have his car service, which is a long old wait, has got to be said. You feel like as if you might as well go home, put the kettle on, grab a cup of tea and come back by the time you're out of the pit. Sometimes we give a 5-second stop go and a front wing change too, of course, but I did see a bit of shard of front wing fly off of Hogler and Pred. I didn't know which one it was, but Clonetroop is out of the Grand Prix. The Ferrari, unbelievably, you wouldn't believe it given the fact that he was 2 from 2 at one point in LCR. He is now out, and it's his second retirement of the season.
Absolutely, it's just got a whole lot worse for him. I mean, judging by those records, was having a really good season. I mean, I'm not sure what he'll be thinking after this one, because he's been involved in 2 instances, one of which probably isn't his fault. The first one is, I'd probably call a racing incident. I mean, it's very difficult on the lap 1 at Monaco, and I said contact was just moments away, and contact indeed is moments away from the barriers. This Armco that just surrounds these drivers. It's almost hugging the drivers on as they come through there. And Gianni is actually really close to LK in the Mercedes, and he locks up into Rasgas, and the Mercedes gets away with daylight robbery there at the casino, but not quite. Gianni is back on the attack through towards turn 1 and Sandavot, and he's not going to be close enough through there, but LK is looking a little bit hair and scarum at the moment in that Mercedes.
He said he hasn't got the confidence around here, and he's most certainly going to show that at this moment in time as the Frenchman, as he continues to struggle after what was an early pit stop. Pit stops, by the way, you can see them now on your screen, from 8th down to 12th. Oh, there's a bit of contact, a bit of a push there from Jensen. Come on, get a move on. I want to get on with this Grand Prix here, and sort of pushed his way through. But Verstappen takes an early stop. That's to be expected because of his front wing damage. Will Liam try the same behind him? No, the runner is going to stay out despite his front wing damage. And now the question is where Verstappen will pop out, because traffic-wise, this could make or break his race.
He's checking his front wing, isn't he? And that's quite crucial. I don't think he'll come out behind, or he will come out behind Visualize. And Malta's locked up into Rasgas, but that's because he's been passed by Phoenix up the inside into Rasgas. It's a lovely move from the Red Bull. Maybe squeezed them each other out, but that's okay. In fact, Verstappen's come out in possibly the best position he could have done, which is in a lot of clean air.
But looking at further up the field for P3, Jolly against Brad, and well, maybe this is a sign that McLaren is starting to struggle on them Hypersofts, and the Wares setting as he clips the wall there out of the swimming pool section towards Raskas, now towards Antinose, down one of the first and only DRS straights available to the guys here. But it's not really a straight, as you mentioned, of course, it's more of a curve. And well, the Supersoft runner is flying at this moment in time as Jolly's teammate Jolly's teammate Visualize, what I want to say, darts it into the pits, but there's no pit crew. I think he's stuck.
He'll just pop out.
There he is.
Oh.
Hey.
Whoa.
He's done a swinging turn in. What was that?
But anyway, it does seem like they're all doing okay. Leopard pits from the lead of the Grand Prix, and he's 23 seconds ahead of Liam, who I think could be the reason that yellow flag was out, because he's lost an awful lot of time to Leopard, and in fact he may even pit himself, and he does. And Leopard will come out into the lead of this Monaco Grand Prix.
Verstappen, you said about clean air, but now he's coming up towards the traffic ahead of him. Liam now comes out safely. Will he come out ahead of Phoenix Legend? I think it's going to be close between them. There is the Red Bull, and you can't even see. Nope, no worries at all. What about Malta behind? No, I think he's safe from Malta at least. So Liam will funnel that about 4 seconds, 5 seconds behind.
Oh, Joseph's revenge up the inside of Charlie into... let's get the corner name right, but he's now going into the hairpin. They're side by side, and Jolly defends that really well. Mirabeau was the corner I was thinking of, and he somehow held on there. They were side by side through Mirabeau corner, not a place you really want to be making an overtake, but to be honest, where is a good place to overtake around Monaco? Verstappen is right on the gearbox of these guys as well.
Here we go, towards the Novo chicane. Bragan looked to the inside line. The American's going to dart it. No. Jolly broke late and ultimately defended it, but now Jolly is holding up not just his revenge behind him on the Supers, and also Brad. But I think Verstappen is just going to go down the inside of Brad just about and gets away a bit towards the back. That was a mighty close. Not really an overtaking opportunity usually down there, but he certainly going to show it. And to be fair, the American showed respect to the Dutchman and let him gladly through when he did go for it. But Jolly now darts it in, and Verstappen now has clean air. Brad, of course, going to follow behind Verstappen, and now it's just all about just maybe trying to stick with the Dutchman until he eventually does pit, and then try and use the advantage of the fresher tyres, potentially get past cars behind. Of course, as well, Phoenix Legend, of course, came in for his first at the Grand Prix on lap number 1, is currently into P4 on the Supersoft, so he's of course going the distance as well.
Oh, he won't be there for long though, because Liam's up the inside into Beau Rivage, and my goodness me, did Phoenix get that harem scare him into turn 1. He was banging way sideways. Oh, he spun around into Massenet and the casino that follows, and well, he pointed out black and it's come out red, hasn't it? It's not a good... Oh, goodness me, I'm getting really tense about all this now, because this game does not work for crashing and that.
Well, he's trying to do his 15-point turn as we're on board at this moment in time. He finally gets round, but the thing that's crucial to mention is he picked up 2 bits of front... He had no front wing damage, thanks to reduced damage in LCR. He didn't pick up a scrap of front wing damage in that spin, but when he was trying to turn himself round, he picked up not 1 but 2 bits of damage. So that is talking about like an aftermath.
Oh, UK Dark Predator up the inside of Jolly. What a move that was from the Ferrari. And Verstappen's out.
Oh my god, how on earth has that happened? We're on board with Liam. Let's see if we can't jump on the flag. He's in the pits. I know why, because I believe Verstappen was a guy that he was unsure if he could brake, so he's just left. He's done the exact same thing in China, which is a bit of a shame to see. But all of a sudden now, this means that by technically when Brad eventually pits, Liam is second place in this Grand Prix.
Look at the battle scoring for LK in P7. He's just ahead of Hogler and Visualize, the Belgian and the Spaniard against the Frenchman. It's a European scrap to be applauded here, and we'll see what will happen between all three of these guys. LK still doing his utmost best in the Mercedes just to fend off anything that's going to occur to him. I was also quite nice to see that it's a sunset Monaco Grand Prix. Completely went out of I didn't even think about it until now, and it's quite a nice little set, to be honest. But let's see what will happen between these three cars. Hogler, Visualize and LK all scrapping away for the 7th place in this Grand Prix.
Yeah, a bit of a train forming up here, of course. Interesting to note that Jolly got passed by Pred, but Pred, of course, was on soft, on newer Supers, was the McLaren, so you would have expected, but then again, pad against wheel at Monaco. We've spoke about that numerous times throughout this Grand Prix, and I'm going to speak about it again, because Pred is a wheel user and Jolly is a pad. I'm not going to make excuses, but nevertheless, it was still, from what I heard, it was a good move, because I didn't even get a chance to have a look. All of a sudden, it just sort of happened, and I was like, oh, I missed that, but I guarantee that in the fancy highlights, the Apex will do after this, you'll find the footage or something and make it all look nice and stuff. But yeah, lap 15.
Yeah, it was in towards the Novel chicane, and it's not a place where he said pre the race that it was potentially a place to go for an overtake. There's bumping and barge between the Haas and the McLaren. Oh, that's not gone well, has it? More contact in this Grand Prix at the Monaco, and this time Hogler and LK coming to blows.
They have indeed, and that looked to me as if Hogler just got sort of like caught on the back of LK. I mean, but nevertheless, towards the lead as we go, and Brad has been caught by the man who pit, which is King Liam 25. Of course, with fresh front wing and his snazzy new Supers, are probably making Brad a little bit jealous of them. But he's now towards the back now, and of course, Drizzvenge and Liam, they're not really in a scrap, but of course Brad thinking the long game, he's thinking, well, when I pit, I could catch up to Liam, so why don't I try and hold him up as much as I can while I've got the opportunity?
Yeah, it's a weird one. Jolly's got past Liam Pred as well, and that must have been into the hairpin, because I was just watching them cut back to Liam and then cut back to them, and Jolly had got past. So once again, we've missed an overtake between the Ferrari and the McLaren, and yeah. It's just, he's going to have a lot of pace now, isn't he, on those super soft tyres. It's quite a blunt analogy, or not even an analogy, just a blunt way of looking at it. He's going to be a lot faster than the four-cylinder. It's just about now, how hard will he race him, and how hard will he get his elbows out, I suppose. How much will he barge him out of the way? It's going to be like a big 6'5" Scottish centre-half against a 5'5" Brazilian. It's not going to end well for whoever concerned in that one, and he will need to maybe use the barriers to his effect here.
Yeah, a bit of wall grinding, but nevertheless, Hogler was just now past Pred as well as he falls down the order in this pack. But of course, tyre wear wise, it should be okay for Pred because he's on the exact same amount of laps as Hogler. So maybe he's just sort of dropping off on pace. Maybe he's got, I don't know, has he picked up any front wing damage? Perhaps. I can't quite see any. So maybe he's just dropping off in pace and has now got the Belgium and Visualize behind him. And well, the Italian continues to struggle. It's a proper European scrap in this fight. We've got the leader, which is British. The second man in this scrap is Spanish. The third man is Italian. The fourth man's Belgium. There's a reason why it's called LCR World, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, towards a battle between the two on the Pacific Ocean. I'm going to get that right. I think I'm wrong. No, I don't bloody know. A battle between America and UK. Brad against Liam. And, well, let's see what happens. Let's see if the Brit can find his way. And we know from experience, James, that Liam can get his elbows out, and he will get his elbows out if he needs to.
Yes, I remember the days of probably TWRL, to be honest, and that's when we last saw that really occur. And actually, there you go. Goodness me, let's get the words out. Pred, he's coming to the pits for a new set of tyres and a new set of super soft tyres as well. Not a bad little strategy that Ferrari might find himself on. Big 5-second stop go won't help him, and now that battle is starting to eke out between Jolly, Hogler and Visualize as well.
Starting to see the beauty of Monaco here is the consistency begins to set in as Liam now tries to dive that inside towards the Novel. Oh my goodness me, he's still going to try on the outside line, and surely not, and Brad just about holds off for now. Towards the back they go though, and Liam slots in behind. Things better on that one, but my, that sort of came out of nowhere, and that was probably a sign that Brad's not going to appreciate that and think, yep, I'm going to defend with all I've got now against you after that.
Absolutely, that's quite scary to be honest, because he was tapping his rear wheel coming through the end of the Novel chicane. At that moment you're thinking, oh my god, don't make contact with him, please don't make contact with him, and you're literally at that moment praying that there isn't any contact with him, and oh my goodness me, what a save that is.
Jolly and Hogler are back close together in the scrap for P5. Now, are we going to see a bit of gamesmanship from McLaren? It's not going to be the first time we've seen it. Baku comes to mind when Liam was a reserve and Liam and Jolly worked together to try and upset Clonetroop. Didn't quite work, but Hogler clips the inside of the wall there, and you don't need gamesmanship when you're getting that close to the wall, son. You might as well just wait for him to make a mistake.
Absolutely, he's down the inside into the Novel chicane. Goodness me, what was he thinking? Really outrageous from Vigilize, but to be honest, he didn't go for the move, he didn't make the move stick, so you know what, I like that, I absolutely like that. Just let him know you're there, let him know you're there, that's what I want to see.
There was an overtake just happened between LK and Malta. Malta now down to P10, LK to P9. Let's face it, both of these men are probably thinking, well, we've already had a torrid time of it, let's just sit back and come home with what could be 2 and 1 points, and even more potentially as the race goes on, because consistency sets in. Kind of mad that he's now coming towards a tunnel section, and well, the guys are now just about to start lap 20 and he's already about halfway through it. It's just absolutely insane, and oh my goodness me, Liam got a bit too close for comfort there, down towards Saint-Devote. Now the climb up towards Rivage, now towards Massenet. Has a look on the inside in towards the casino section, and again another person tries to roll the dice, but it weren't quite on that time, and again the Force India continues to anger the Renault here because he continues to lose time, but then again there's no one really behind him to worry about. Liam might as well just wait his time, really.
Just Revenge is still doing bits, isn't he, but it's just ruining Liam's race now, because he's now some 40 seconds behind LCR Leopard, who I think is, I want to be sure, but I mean I'm going to wait until I can
Liam's down the inside,
say,
down towards turn 1, down towards Saint-Devote. He's finally gone for the move and gets it done nice and safely. And now the Brit has P2, and that was crucial for him. As meanwhile, the car behind as well, Chaos and Jani in. But he took his opportunity. I think he got a good exit out of Anthony Nose, and with the one and only DRS zone, gets it done.
Absolutely, and now Hogler's pushing Jolly round the final corner there, wheel to wheel towards Saint-Devote. Who's going to break later into turn 1? Jolly's on the inside, he'll have the inside, he'll keep that inside as well, and it looks like Hogler will have to go on the offensive again up Beau Rivage. We go again, and those two McLarens are going to be a bit of a, he's in the middle of a McLaren sandwich, isn't he, Hogler, at the moment? That's not a place you really want to be, since the reliability isn't quite there. But let's just see what will happen down towards goodness me.
Now that we're at the hairpin.
Yeah, you know the corner. Yeah, we're at the hairpin now. Yeah.
Everyone knows that one.
Yeah, and the Novel chicane will follow after the tunnel. And yeah, I was getting a bit tasty as well between all those guys. I wasn't too sure what they were going to be doing side by side to turn 1. I was hoping once again that one of them would back out, and sure as hell they did. But he did get a really good run there, and he's trying once again through the Novel chicane. Jolly is struggling. Into the back corner we go, and it looks like the Haas should be having him on toast at the moment, and that's ironic because he's in the McLaren sandwich.
Indeed it is. Good pun there. I can see that you've been working on them long and hard. But nevertheless, the Spaniard is basically pushing Jolly out of Raskas down towards Anthony Nose. He gets a bit of overtake, puts the curb on the inside, and that's going to probably hinder his chance down towards Saint-Devote, which is one of a few, and I mean a few, overtaking opportunities on this track. I mean, we proved it with Liam. He got a good exit, and look at the gap already between Liam and Brad. It's up to 3.2 seconds, which goes to show how much Liam was being hindered by the American.
Jolly is just defending like crazy against Hogler. He really is. He's doing a good job of defending against Hogler, but they're now losing even more times to guys on the podium, so there's not really too much hope for them, unless just as Revenge pits, and he does indeed pit at the exact time that was very aptly timed, and it's now dependent on what times we'll go on to. I'd assume the ultra softs. Indeed he does, and he's on his merry way.
Lead onto the purple walled super soft. So now I think, because of the pit stop, I think we've come out nice and safely ahead of these guys as well. So now it becomes a bit of a battle of getting the hammer down. As a bit of a defensive work there from Jolly out towards the start finish line. Oh, look at oversteer, and I might have been a shot of front wing fly off from the Spaniard's front wing. As Leopard, by the way, is lapping these guys out of nowhere. So all of a sudden they've all got to get out of the way because they're being blue flagged, and the race leader has just come out to lap the man in P4 in this Grand Prix. He's a two-time champion for a reason, but that really takes the biscuit as Gianni is now right behind his guys and Visualize can do oversteer, but Gianni couldn't get through because he was being held. But everyone's let through now, and Leopard can get on his way, and all of a sudden, for a brief second, we had a massive amount of chaos.
Absolutely right, we did. Gianni keeping right up behind Visualize and McLaren. Then he's not let him go, has he? The Red Bull side by side with him through the tunnel. And actually, the McLaren probably thinks better of it to fight against that Red Bull, who's now going to be in a bit of a squabble with Hogler and Jolly. And Hogler hasn't managed to gain any time really out of Jolly through the lap being lapped by Leopard, of course. And I can't believe that they're already getting lapped. I mean, say already, we're on lap 24, but goodness me. 43 seconds up the road. This is honestly, and I don't think I've said this many a time, this could be the most dominant win I've ever seen. This is absolutely ridiculous. I've commentated on many a league race, but I've never seen 40 seconds as the margin between the top two.
Yeah, it's a bit of a, well, I suppose he got, I mean, you could say he got lucky with the start, because he had a good start as well. You've got to say fair play to him for that, but he has just done everything he needs to do, and that's done to show why he is a two-time LCR champion, because he's just led. But meanwhile, this scrap is getting very tasty, because Hogler is now not only attacking against Jolly, but he's now defending against Gianni behind him for P5 as well. As did Gianni just try the glitch there where you go into reverse at the hairpin? I think he did.
So, yeah, there's a possibility that Red Bull is getting very feisty up behind the house.
He is indeed, and this could be a chance for him out of, and who knows, we've seen Hogler mess this corner up a few times, but Hogler, of course, is already showing from damage, but he still has DRS because of Jolly ahead of him, so it kind of cancels out an opportunity of trying to use the drag reduction system to get past down towards Sandoval. That's the wall for the pair of them, as it seems to be the Hogler continues to struggle, but now up towards Beaumont, down towards Massenet at turn 3, not going to be quite on. You can still try and dart it there, but not when you're battling for P5, maybe if you fancy being suicide on the last lap for P1, but P1's definitely done and dusted at this moment in time with 45 seconds, but who knows? I reckon maybe Leopard could make a mistake, and that would just cause shockwaves in LCR if he did. But down he took his Gianni towards her. I did not expect that, and he's done it. Yeah, Hogler takes opportunity to pit wherever he's going to get a front wing change. No, he does not, but he's gone on to a set of the Hypersoft, Ultrasoft, sorry, it changed. I hate it when it does that, but he's gone on to a set of Ultrasoft nevertheless. So then purple wall tyres. Obviously, Preda's got past because he's miles up the road, but Hogler's got to really put the foot down throughout these last, what is just under 12 laps. Sorry, just over 12 laps of this Grand Prix. And really got to go for it if he wants to try and nick back where he was, or even just to get past Pred.
Jesus, look at Gianni, he's all over the back with Jolly in towards the Novell chicane, and it could be a move done here by the Red Bull, who we've seen is quite late on his brake pedal, and he's longing it, but not long enough, and there's the Mauer Concertina effect, because the Red Bull is now in a McLaren sandwich once again, and it's not the first time these McLarens have done this. Maybe a bit of tactics needs to be used by that McLaren team, because it seems everyone around them seems to be quite fast. And there it goes, Gianni around the outside into Raskas. Can't get the move done just yet on the McLaren of Jolly.
Jolly pits.
Jolly
comes into the pits, but the thing that's crucial to mention is Gianni has picked up front wing damage, so has Visualize. So all of a sudden, the tactic from Hogler could work, but the man that could be the best out of all of this is UK Dark Predator in P6. On the supers, gap 1.4 seconds behind. Of course, he's going to take his supers to the end. There's no question in my mind about that, because of course, he'd done a two-stop where he went supers, when he was originally on, I believe it was Hypersofts in his first stint. No, sorry, Ultrasofts. So he's played it safe. There's no doubt he's got that in his mind. But at the same time, he has now got two guys ahead of him who are suffering, and Visualize looks to be suffering massive front wing damage judging by his pace, and this could be his chance now. Out of the tunnel, down towards the level chicane. Visualize goes to the inside, and maybe towards the tunnel. Down they go, and yes, Pred now has P5. I think that's more of a sort of wave through, really saying, waving the white flag for the Belgian, just saying, no, go on through. There's no point in me defending that hard. And now, Pred is looking ahead towards the man in fourth place, which is Gianni. Well, this has come out of nowhere. Yeah, Visualize has come in, interestingly, as Jolly now has just been let through by LK, which now means the two McLarens are down to 7th and 9th respectively. So both of them came in. I don't think Jolly had a front wing damage. He might have had to, I'm not too sure. But the one thing that was certain is the Belgian definitely did, and they're all now on to Ultrasoft. So the question is now, will the top two do the same? Because if Liam pits, he'll be behind Drizzle's event.
The thing is, for Leopard, he could pit twice now and he would still be in the lead. So it's he's that far ahead of the rest of the pack. I mean, Leopard could do what the hell he likes. If he likes, he could come in, bolt side, hypersize on with 2 laps to go and get the fast lap of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Brad has now been lapped, so the man sitting on the last place of the podium has been lapped by our race leader. Now that is something else. Surely this is going to be a first time in LCR history. There is no doubt in that, because it barely ever happens in league racing full stop, let alone in LCR. So, wow. Despite this fact of Leopard leading by 51 seconds, it still only means it'll still come in with 7 points more than Liam. It still means that at this moment in time, King Liam 25 and LCR Leopard will be first and second in the championship, with Leopard ahead of Liam by a point. Because I work it out, Leopard will have 65 and Liam will have 64. So it'll be Leopard against Liam, the experienced head of LCR Leopard, the 2-time champion, against the up-and-coming rookie of Liam. It's like watching Cars all over again, really, but except this time it's hopefully not going to end up in a pile-up with the King crashing out and doing 50 flips, unlike last time. But anyway, the scrapping's still underway on the track between Gianni and Pred, because now the Italian has closed up towards the LCR's very own Flying Fit. Well, Pred continues to sort of get a little bit of oversteer out of the final corner. There's a spinner and it's visualised. The Belgian has had a moment there towards the Novo chicane, has dropped back behind the Frenchman of LK. So, and again, the McLaren state, it looked to be strong for them. They could have been on for so high as 4th and 5th. And as Pred continues to close up towards Gianni, maybe not really quite on, but again, even though that throttling damage, Pred's still got to worry about his worn supersofts, as he proved there towards the back, as he went for a Monaco drift there instead of a Tokyo drift. That nearly ended in tears for the Italian, and again it nearly ended in tears because he broke way too late and slide. Look at that! It's like we're watching Formula drift through Blimmin' Rascast there. That was almighty for him. But now towards turn 1 comes Pred on Gianni, not going to be quite on just yet because he had a massive bit of oversteer, and he continues to struggle oversteer. Maybe a sign that the setup is a bit too aggressive. With about a couple of laps to go, we're about to be 4 laps to go for our race leader. He is now, or sorry, 5 laps actually. He is lacking 57 seconds and almost a minute clear of the car behind him, which is King Liam 25. And so a lot of time penalties coming in. As visualised, as you can see, they've just got another one. I believe over the corner car there from Leopard, but not that it's really going to matter for the race leader because he's 57 seconds clear and you have to be disqualified to get that many penalties in a Grand Prix. But all he's got to do now is just keep it nice and calm on the track, and he'll come home with P1 and potentially lead every single lap of this Monaco Grand Prix as well. Hogler in P5 and Pred down to P6, and now he's been bared down on by Jolly behind him as he got very close to the back of him there. 2 friends in league racing nevertheless, but that doesn't mean they're not going to give it a bit of a fight on track. We saw it yesterday in RFL for them, but that was for P2. This time it's for P6 on what is set to be their penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. He kisses the back of him there, and a bit of an oversteer, but I'm not too sure what happened in terms of Hogler getting past Pred, because that happened earlier, but out towards Anthony knows, and this is the chance, as now Pred goes to the inside, Jolly going the outside, we have the move done down towards Sandoval, they're going to be side by side, the DRS on, and Jolly going to try the other way around, and Joe, or Pred, actually stops in behind, and accepts defeat on that one, and now the full-time driver of McLaren is up into P6.
Absolutely right, it's a nice little move from the McLaren, and now the Ferrari is sideways, and the Casino once again has come up short for a man who was betting his bottom dollar that he could have potentially held on to 6th place, and he'll be having to cut the odds on that now for his P7. Leopard, by the way, has started the last lap of this Grand Prix. Everyone who's been lapped by him are on their final laps, I believe.
I believe, actual fact, it might be their penultimate, technically, for guys like Hogler Jolly. Because they'll come up to Sector 3, they'll cross the lap for 38, and then everyone else will cross the lap, then of course Leopard will cross, and then it'll be their last lap. But nevertheless, Gianni and Hogler are going to leave their spat on track. I believe there's more time penalties for Hogler anyway, so I think they're going to lose position to Jolly behind him as well. So Jolly will still manage to claim P5. But through towards the final couple of corners comes Leopard, and well, it's a championship display for the man, but meanwhile, Hogler and Jani side by side towards the hairpin, and Jani fends it off for now. But nevertheless, round the final corner, this is for certain. This is not going to change because up to the line, and Visualize slow down to get lapped a second time. But Leopard takes victory in slow motion at the Monte Carlo Grand Prix, and it's a dominant display from lap 1 to 39 for him as Liam makes his way around towards the final, well, I would say final couple of corners, but he's got a long way to go if he's going to cross the line. But on board with his battle for P4, which is indeed on the last lap, as Brad takes home a podium. That's his first podium since America last season in his home Grand Prix. He has grabbed one in the Ferrari, now in the Force India. But Jani and Hogler side, but oh my goodness me, Hogler has hit the back of Jani, and that's not going to be good news at all as they can't towards Ratcast. Any final dive bombs? No, everyone's going to keep it peaceful for now, but that's not really where we wanted to end that, but it's ended in that way. Now it's up to the line. Who's going to claim what? Jani up first, Hogler going to be up second. Jolly takes it from Hogler, but does not take it from Jani due to the same time penalties. So it's P5 in the end for the McLaren, and the Haas comes home in P6. And UK Dark Predator and LK will be the final two to finish, as Visualize was the only man to get lapped 2 times in this Grand Prix. But both of them have a 5-second stop go for unserved penalties. So in actual fact, it means LK misses out by 100th of a second. But one man that is can't to line is second place man King 25. This order's gone completely wrong, but both of the leaders have done 30 laps on their super soft, and they kept it so clean. That is why they were first and second. A mighty job by both the Williams and the Renault. But one thing for certain, Leopards won. The man who wins the Grand Prix, surprise, surprise, LCR Leopard has won by just under a lap ahead of King Liam 25 in second place for the Renault. Good job again, 18 points, which means in actual fact, first and second this Grand Prix are first and second in the championship by a point. So do not take your eyes off LCR Season 5, it is hotting up indeed. Brad, aka Business Event, comes on in P3, magnificent to see him back on the podium. Hasn't done that, like I said, since his home Grand Prix in Season 4, but 4th place for Chaos Jani, 5th place for Jolly, and 6th place for Hogler. And then Fred, LK, and finally Visualize, the 9-men finish in the DNFs include TR Malta, Phoenix Legend, TR Verstappen, VSR Clonetroop5, LCR Hayden, and we didn't even see the 2 Toro Rossos of AOR Charlie and Jack RT get off the line for what was a 16-man grid, but was ultimately a 14, which turned into 9. That is it. Monaco is done. Congratulations to our 3 podium sitters. Best of luck for next week, guys, when we travel to North America for the Canadian Grand Prix. But that is it. Monaco has been completed here in LCR. Thank you guys very much for watching. See you next time, same place, same time. Goodbye.